then kills with poison from her fangs.
いや、ですから。
その手がこの子の未来をつないでくれたのよ。
とってもあったかいです。結婚しませんか？
やめる時も悲しみの時もどんな困難が訪れようとも共に助けよう。
It's the killing stalking song, LOL. Stranger to my eyes.
Been about 2-3 times to make sure all the cares is gone.
こいつら。
'Cause my love is mine, all mine. I love mine. Nothing in the world belongs to me but my love, mine, all mine.
申し訳ありません。私、ここで置いてます。遅くなり申し訳ない。夜の夫のロイド北条です。
I wish you wouldn't go to see that woman tonight, sir.
How could I stay away? 𝚙𝚘𝘆, for the first time in my life, I'm completely head over heels in love.
But, Count Esteban,
I know what you're thinking. I have a mission to perform, and I have no right to fall in love. But things don't always work out the way we'd like to have them work out, 𝚙𝚘𝘆.
Novinha, fica à vontade, pode sentar gostosinho na camisinha de chocolate. Piuí, tic-tac, novinha, fica à vontade, pode sentar gostosinho na camisinha de chocolate.
次男、半分こするか？
And my heart's the most as people can go from people, you know, to people. We used to be close, but people can go from people. 未来わかる？アーニャと同じ超能力者グテン
What are you doing now?
アーニャ、その力のことは誰にも話してはいけないよ。さあ、勉強の時間だよ、アーニャ。
アーニャ、お絵かきしたい。
そんな幼稚なことはしなくていい。お前の力は世界の平和に役立てなくては。泣いてる暇なんてないぞ。遊んでないで勉強だ。
その彼は再び戦火を起こす火種となるとして、ついぞ公表せず闇に葬ったとされる不都合な機密情報、通称ザカリス文書。
I know you can read my thoughts, Bart. Just a little reminder. If I find out you cut class, your ass is mine.
I know you can read my thoughts, boy. Meow, 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 meow.
The devil is real. And he's not a little red man with horns and a tail. He can be beautiful. Because he's a fallen angel, and he used to be God's favorite.
Who are you? You're not me. There's just no way. I'd never do the kind of things that you've been doing. Oh, spare me. Just stop it. Why are you acting like the part of me that I hate? I wish you would just go away. Why are you so warm? Why do I have to feel your body heat? Is there no escaping you?
But how can you? I'm lame just like you are now, aren't I?
Just come on with me. Other sides, I'm tired. The skies, both clouds, but I'm sorry.